Continuing, Huang claims that one of the devices in his teeth can read his thoughts and talk to his mind when he's sleeping. A second device he believes transmits pictures of what he sees to a receiver for recording. He said the mind controller he feared from driving to bad behavior. He gives two examples, of one of which cannot be mentioned in a family magazine. Huang is not alone in his complaints about having mind control devices implanted in his teeth. David B. recounts his story. X-rays revealed a metal object on the left side of my skull under the jaw and the soft tissue of my neck. In May 1996, I finally had it removed. I asked many doctors about the possibility of it falling there during extraction. They said possibly, but remote. Most of them thought it punctured my neck from the outside. I sent x-rays to Dr. Sims and he arranged removal. The strange thing came out of this was the discovery of small objects. The strange thing that came out of this was the discovery of the small object in my shoulder. Dr. Lear called after receiving my x-rays and asked if I had ever broken my shoulder. If I had ever been in an explosion. I replied no. He said the reason was the x-ray clearly showed a screw on my left shoulder. He said it looked like an operation for a broken shoulder. I have never broken a bone to my knowledge and called my mother to ask. She said I had no operations as a child. This part is a complete mystery. During the first 6 months of torture extreme at that time, I went to a dentist and reported pain under my new dental bridge. He says, installed a few months before the assault. He removed it and I was still in contact. So I wrote off my teeth and concentrated on my throat wrongly. In my x-rays and CAT scan, one tooth is very bright, and in one frame of the CAT scan it shows rays of white emanating from it. People I asked said it was probably an interference effect with the metal. An insight into the state of early Soviet research into electromagnetics is provided by an account of meeting held on March 22, 1963 in the office of Professor Zino Zeev at the Ministry of Higher and Secondary Specialized Education in the Soviet Union. It says Professor Artemov mentioned what he called a mental work machine. Artemov said that in the near future, an electromagnetic broadcasting unit the size of a transistor radio will be used to stimulate creativity and mental energy. Artemov said that the first models of the machine that had been constructed were desktop size, but now the units were portable and were in use. It says the Soviets also worked on less benign applications of electromagnetics. So I got a scripture because them Soviets for the most part now are they Edomites. That's why you got these Edomites, like when you go into the story of the Maccabees and how when Alexander the Great had conquered all that land and left it to his generals, they basically ruled most of the known world, but yet still they so fucking greedy and carnal, they start fighting each other. Like when Antiochus actually went and attacked Ptolemy. You know what I mean? This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 28, verse 2. Son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrese, in the modern day, because this is a double-fold scripture. I mean, and once it was a prince of Tyrese, but now the modern day prince of Tyrese is this Edomite. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, why Yahweh Shah, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a God, I sit in the seat of God, and in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man and not God. Though thou set thine heart as the heart of Yahweh. Verse 3, behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee. Verse 4, with thine wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches. And the point is that, they are wiser than Daniel. There's no secret that can be hidden from them. I mean, I see, you hear what this chapter is going into, It's saying how the Soviets actually have delved into it and into applications of electromagnetics. It says about 1960, As microwave scientist Milton Zarrit recalls, he was approached by the CIA. Zarrit had worked on an Air Force project evaluating potential eye damage to radar and microwave technicians, but the CIA was interested in more arcane matters. They asked about the effects of microwaves on human behavior and the possibility of using microwaves for brainwashing. Later, in 1965, they finally disclosed to Zarrit that why they were interested. The U.S. Embassy in Moscow was being bombarded with microwaves by the Soviets, with radiation that they dubbed the Moscow signal. Zarrit was briefed on Project Pandora, a government program in progress that was aimed at finding out why the Soviets were irradiating the embassy and perhaps turning that research to the CIA's own purpose. In one Project Pandora's experiment, Pandora experiment, chimpanzees were irradiated with microwave bursts. The head of the program determined that the potential for exerting a degree of control on human behavior by low-level microwave radiation seems to exist, and he urged that the effects of microwaves be studied for possible weapon applications. Zarrit conducted his own tests and determined that whatever other reasons the Russians may have had, they believed the beam would modify the behavior of the personnel. Zarrit's recommendations were simple. The American government should demand that the Soviets stop irradiating its employees. Persons stationed at the embassy should also be briefed on what was going on, which they had not been, and be given the option of transferring to other areas of the world. Zarrit was assured that his suggestion would be followed by Slovakia, but they were in only one particular. President Lyndon B. Johnson issued a demand to the Soviets that the irradiation end. They ignored him. Embassy personnel were never told that they were being subjected to electromagnetic irradiation, nor that the tests showed many of them were afflicted with terrible medical problems. Ambassador, that's just the devil, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, you see what I'm saying? They running tests on the very same people, like that, without their knowledge, though. That's some wicked ass evil shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's the son of perdition. Only a devil would do that. When you go to perdition, he's the son of destruction. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I said. Like, that's what we believed when I was going into Tesla, that he was a Jake. Tesla was creating stuff that benefited humanity and was giving it away. You know what I'm saying? Esau want to make money and destroy the world at the same time. That's how you know, like the brother broke down one time, it was deep. You know that this world ain't really his. What person, that's like a person fucking up their house because they got a mental problem or something, but they got to live in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might fuck up somebody else's house, but you ain't gonna, or you selling dope all at your shit, but you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody do that. I mean, I seen a lot of niggas do that, but you know what I mean? Like, that's how stupid niggas is, but. It says embassy person, Slovakia, where else stop? Walter J. Stowsell had problems with bleeding from the eyes and was diagnosed with a blood disease similar to leukemia. That's crazy because I know a guy really in real life that he looked like his eyes be bleeding. The two previous ambassadors had both died of cancer. State Department tests after, well, I don't know him. I met a guy that I see when I used to eat at this food pantry, or this church rather, and his eyes, I mean, you know, look like, I always wonder, I'm like, dude, this dude got a disease or something? Like, he look weird as fuck. Slovakia. The two previous ambassadors that both died of cancer. State Department tests also found what they described as a slightly higher white blood cell count in 1/3 of the employees he tested. But in fact, their lymphocyte count was 40 50% higher than normal. Several children of embassy employees were found to have blood disorders, and that's all probably from that the electromagnetics being bombarded with that radiation. So just imagine how you what the 5G gonna do. I mean, I was gonna do a video on that because I got this newspaper, and it was talking about how I forgot what agency it was, but basically like I guess the FDA. It was something that basically cleared the 5G to say that it wasn't harmful. You know what I mean? But you got all these doctors that sit up there and said, yeah, this shit. I mean, that's what they not telling you. You got people that protested for you not to put those 5G towers in their neighborhoods. And it's beautiful that, the devil shitted on his own people as well. Because you used to Jake not being heard or fuck what y'all talking about. But now these Edomites feeling, that's how you know this shit almost over with, man. Like, real talk. Like, and brother said something recently that really struck home and moved my spirit, because he was like, at the end of the day, that's how you know you almost at the end. Whenever it's the end of something, like the end of something that you didn't really, like some brothers got different spirits. Some brothers be all in the spirit catching hell. You know what I mean? That's a beautiful spirit to have. But the best shit for you is usually the most foulest tasting or whatnot. And then you ever had some shit like to get the kingdom, it's saying Acts 14:22, which I'm gonna get, that through much tribulation we shall receive the kingdom. So at the end of the day, in order to get, because to be worthy of what you want to the kingdom, all this, I mean, it's beautiful to talk about the kingdom. That's with anything though. You know what I mean? Like, when them athletes go play, and win a championship or whatnot, or when Floyd probably got his first belt, you know what I mean? Through much tribulation, and for us to get the kingdom, you're gonna suffer much. You know what I'm saying? This is the book of Acts, chapter 14, verse 22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. So at the end of the day, this is not going to be no easy walk, no easy road. You know what I mean? And brother was saying how, like, doing this the best thing for you to survive what's coming. But at the end of the day, like, to come back to the law, statutes, commandments, because a gun, some kung fu, whatever the fuck you think that's carnal is not going to save you. This Edomite has fucking robots. He has exoskeleton suits. He's genetically modifying men. You know what I'm saying? Like, he show you all this shit in these movies that you think are all made believe. But the dregs, like when it's talking about the dregs, you gonna drink the dregs of that cup. The cup, like basically the children of Israel wasn't supposed to drink the cup, but they drank it. And that cup was bitter. You get what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, it said, I gotta find it, but the scripture talks about how they'll have to drink that. I'm gonna find it. Bear with me for a second. Salakia.